Hello again, folks, and I'm decided to do a honest gear review segment. I know some other channels have done it, but gone through enough used gear that I think I should be doing more videos along this line, just to kind of add to some different content for a change. Now let's check out the guitar with some clean tones. Now with some distorted tones, let's check out these pickups. Now a little degent style action to see if it degents. Now let's go through a crunchy tone and hear these pickups going neck, both, and then finally back into the bridge. So, some time ago, I believe it's been now 2-3 months, maybe 4, I traded for this guy, which is a 2008 Gibson SG Special Faded in the worn brown finish. And in that trade, I traded off a 04 Gibson Flying V Faded that I'd refinished in a kind of distressed, road-worn kind of black look with the wood grain showing through. Now, again, I don't consider myself a professional. I classify myself as a hobby player or a hobbyist player. Sure, I'd like to get better, and I've played long enough that I should be better, but I'm not looking to become a recording artist or something along those lines. I'm just doing this for fun. And, a lot more people should be looking at that and understanding that, not everyone plays guitar to be serious or overly serious as some people can be. That said, the guitar in question, and again, there's some white spottiness to it that might be showing up, which is because I actually did do a wax kind of sealer on this. So, again, these started out in 2002. They mostly righties. The open coil pickups, just dot inlays, regular things. No inlaid headstock as you would see on a regular Gibson SG standard. So, when I initially got this guitar, I was pretty impressed. Because, again, while at times in the past I really have been very slag-like about Gibson as a company, again, the reality is the SG series, as well as many other series, are still a very good consumer-friendly product from Gibson. The issue I have with the Gibson company is what they've done with the Les Paul line of guitars. Those are beyond beyond the current consumer's reach, especially with the way the economy is. That said, if you're looking for an SG, especially maybe more so one if you're a fan of, say, AC/DC, Frank Zappa, some parts of Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, The Who, and many other classic and current musicians do play this guitar. And this guitar specifically will get you a lot of the tones that the artists I mentioned have on their albums. Now, I'm just going to, as my camera maybe shakes here, I'm just going to reference the Gibson's specs here on their site for this. Body, mahogany with a Franklin Tile Bond 50 adhesive. The neck profile is a SG rounded mahogany, truss rod traditional adjustment, joint angle 4.2, 4¼ inches, adhesive again a Franklin Tile Bond 50. The neck fit is mortise and tendon, again Franklin Tile Bond adhesive. The fretboard is apparently, I thought this was rosewood. Again, another mistake. Like Gibson does kind of not point out at times, but these cheaper products, this is apparently baked maple. I had no clue. 12-inch radius, 22 frets, 1.695-inch nut. The nut material itself is Corian with 1.695. The slots are again Gibson's Plec system. I'll get to that shortly. We'll go back to the headstock. Gold silkscreen quote-unquote Gibson logo, truss rod cover, black and white antique bell. Well, as you see here and on the picture on Gibson's own head's website, it really doesn't look like it's a black and white antique bell. Tuners, vintage tuners with pearloid buttons. Again, witch teeth as I've heard somebody call them, 14:1 tuning ratio. Again, Nashville Tunematic bridge made out of Zamac, chrome plated tailpiece. Again, stop bar made out of Zamac or Zamac, however you want to pronounce that. Again, chrome. They offered this in a nitrocellulose sealer in warm brown like this one, or warm cherry. Came with a Gibson plush bag. The hardware, black top hats, which I will again show another reason why these are reduced in cost. They've used cheap black top hats that are like actually borderline worse than the Chinese ones you can buy off eBay. Toggle switch, black with silver imprint, which is correct. Strap buttons are aluminum, and the strings on this are actually supposed to be 10/46s. I have this currently set up with Ernie Ball Super Slinky Cobalts, which are 9/42s. Getting back to the rest of the switch, or sorry, the rest of the stats. Pickups, neck position, uncovered 490R, bridge position, uncovered 490T, and they're an Alnico 2 magnet in these. Here's where it gets interesting and could explain why some of these Gibson guitars actually do require a pullout of their electronics to be replaced or upgraded. 2 volume controls, 2 tone controls on potentiometers. Here's where it gets interesting. A 300K linear volume and 500K non-linear tone pots. Strange. Coil wiring, machine wound. No clue what that means. Toggle switch, 3-way switchcraft with cream plastic tip. Again, functions. Feels like a solid quality, at least toggle switch at least. And of course, traditional 1/4-inch jack. In the bottom, sorry. Used to a telly. So, with all that said, if we flip over here to reverb.com, these guitars have a current pricing history that is between 499 Canadian and 703 Canadian. So these guitars, if you're just looking for something to bang around on, really don't give a rat's derriere about how beat up they get. They're perfect. They also make a great modding platform, refinishing platform. If you can get these for a low price, which, going over the history, the lowest priced one of these that sold was on 3/9/2017 at $590. The last one that sold one of these was 10/11/2017, and it sold for 656 Canadian. So they're super cheap in that regard, that if you have the knowledge to get the supplies and have the space to refinish these, it probably would be a nice idea to pick one up. Now, getting back to the point I made about Plek, Gibson's Plek system, and Gibson's overall guitar quality control issue that has been going on since pretty much 1998. Here's the thing. If this had a Plek system, and it was a Plek nut and everything else, and the person I got this from said that this guitar has not been touched other than played a little bit, why did I have to, last night, give this guitar a fret level? Literally, this guitar, up until last night when I was playing it, this string here, this 12th string, I could only bend up to this point, and it was actually fretting out. This was going on various points around here on the fretboard, as well as up here by the fret. If I tried to finger a partial D chord, this finger up here, literally, if I put too much pressure on it, I would actually be bending the pitch of the string beyond what it was supposed to be. So last night I spent about 2.5 hours taping up the fingerboard, getting it all checked out, making sure the neck was in the proper alignment. And I went over this 3 times with marker and fret leveled with actually both 120 and 320 grit to get these frets to be more accurate. Put everything back on, and now, as of today, since it's sat overnight to adjust and whatnot, I don't have any problems bending strings anymore. I don't have any problems forming any chords anywhere on this fretboard anymore. So Gibson's Plek system is bleh, garbage. And again, you can look at various other people's videos online, including Henning Pauly, who has a video on his own channel that is him going to Tome Music and actually using their Plek machine, showing how they do it. And he had his own Paul Reed Smith done, as well as a high-end Harley Benton Les Paul style guitar that he modified for a little interesting look at to see on if you can improve these like uber cheap guitars, and he did. And you know, I have to say, you know, you really have to question again Gibson's own integrity Same thing as, again, as I said, with them saying handmade or whatever, same thing about custom shop. They had on their own Facebook page a picture from their custom shop of a Gibson Les Paul custom headstock being cut out by a CNC machine. CNC machine isn't handmade. Further about these headstocks like this, I'm not sure how well I'll be able to get this to show, but while I was removing the strings last night, you can just see it right there at the end of the, between the tuner and the truss rod cover. That is how well these things are protected. Nice lovely scratch from when I tried to get the loop out of the string on the low E string tree. So it's no longer a perfect guitar, which again, I think these are definitely made for player bang around guitars, or people that are probably not wanting to bring their more expensive Gibson SGs out onto the road. With that said, would I recommend this guitar? Yeah, I would. I would recommend this line of guitars from Gibson. Another big thing about this line of guitars from Gibson, you will not have back problems. All these guitars are relatively nice and light compared to, say, a Gibson Les Paul line. The Flying V as well is also fairly light. So people with back problems definitely should look for one of these. The other nice thing about these two, this upper fret access is also very nice on these guitars as well too. So that said, as I itch my itchy nose for my mustache, I'm Ned Flanders look. Oakley dokley. Don't be afraid to go out and get yourself one of these. Especially on the used market, they're worth it. Brand new, it's a crapshoot. Of course, it's a crapshoot on the used market, but at least you're not paying full retail for one of these. And used folks in the States, again, with the prices, you can get these for even more cheaper with the way your dollar is. So there it is, Gibson SG 2008 faded in brown. Hope you enjoyed this little video, and bye for now and take care. See you later.